Kings and Queens, Your Majesties, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for returning. Trust you and yours are well, and you're loving yourself and others like always. Many thanks to all of you for the support you give to the channel. Thank you so much to our channel members, to our anonymous supporters, to all of you, my esteemed subscribers. You're loved, celebrated, and of course, appreciated. All right, so just a quick one about recent happenings in the mother continent. And before now, I think I have brought your notice to possible military takeover in Nigeria. And I get some Nigerians who came and they were like, there is no military takeover happening. Nothing like that happened. There is nothing of such going on. And I was like, sometimes. Anyway, so according to the news, that the president of Nigeria had removed service chiefs amid alleged coup probe, detention of 16 military officials by the DIA. That is to say, there was an effort. That is to say, there was a conception of taking over the government of Nigeria militarily. That is why the government chose to detain 16 military officials and, removing some service chiefs. Now, when you go further into the news, this is according to Sahara reporters. They said that although the presidency described the move as part of effort to strengthen Nigeria's national security architecture, Sahara reporters observed that the changes came after weeks of tension. Okay, that is in Nigeria. Suspicion and internal investigations that pointed to possible disloyalty among key senior officials. Remember, I also brought you the information of, the former chief of army staff, Buratai, who came out and said that every military official owed the government loyalty. That is to say, they had sensed that there is a disloyalty. That is to say, they had sensed that something is about to happen. There is an agitation for a military takeover. And given the fact that there were agitation everywhere around the continent after Madagascar's issue, very, very recent, I believe that other parts of the continent, countries in other parts of the continent also, especially where their economy is really shaking and a lot is going on, would also want to conceive the same thing. And that was exactly what happened in Nigeria. That was why there was this internal tension in the military. Okay? Now, President Bola Tinubu sacked all the country's service chiefs a week after Sahara reporters exclusively reported an alleged coup attempt and secret detention of 16 senior military officials by the Defense Intelligence Agency, that's the DIA. Of course, it's the government that had ordered for that through that particular agency. Okay? Though the presidency described the move as part to strengthen Nigeria's security architecture, Sahara reporters observed that the changes came a week after the tension. So this is the government doing everything possible to see that there will be no possible military takeover in Nigeria. And that was why when I was having that discussion with you, I told you here that in case if some of you had the thought that Nigeria might one day agitate for a military takeover, the government is doing everything possible to see that that does not even happen. And that is why these 16 military officials are detained. And the existing service chiefs were all removed from their positions. You see what we are saying? Because they're just doing everything possible to see that there is nothing of such that should happen. Okay? Now, the president, commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria, expresses most profound appreciation to the outgoing chief of defense staff. That is to say, the popular chief of defense staff that we always hear from is also kicked out.
As long as you are deployed, your task is to secure your community. You are all aware on what condition you are supposed to shoot at the enemy. When your life is at stake and you have no other means of protecting yourself, you are allowed to fire. When your colleague's life is at stake and there's no way you can stop, you are allowed to fire. And when the community or any infrastructure you are protecting is being destroyed and you have no other means of stopping them, you are allowed to fire. So do not be afraid to take out any criminal or any enemy that is destroying or is doing any acts of killing. Is that clear? Yes, sir. But like I've told you, the communities you are protecting must know that you are there to protect them, not to go there and infringe on their human rights. I'm going to hold every commander, from the sector commander to the company commander to the platoon commander to the section commanders responsible. If anything happens within your AOR and you do nothing, you will be court-martialed. That I guarantee you. But again, our policy is to reward hard work and punish indolence. When you do well, we'll commend you, we'll give you awards, and then we'll take care of you the more. You will be promoted. Is that clear? Yes, sir. With the new concept, all armed forces personnel will be withdrawn from within the towns and will go out into the bushes. All checkpoints will not react.
Despite the presidency denial of any coup attempt, the latest shakeup has intensified speculation that Tinubu's administration is facing rising distrust within the armed forces. And this is just normal. And that was why I said is after the recent military takeover, because this recent takeover in Madagascar came at a time where I think the whole continent is still, there is tension everywhere. We all know. We saw what is going on in Cameroon, or we see what's going on in Cameroon and other parts of the continent, especially when it comes to democracy and the confusion that comes with it. A lot of persons are using the Sahel as an example to their own leading, to their leaders in their various countries. And if they are seeing positivity coming out of the Sahel that is led by military leaders, then there is this thought of, can't we do the same? And this was exactly what happened. I told you when Madagascar issue came up, a lot of Nigerian youth began to ask questions among themselves. Okay? And when I'm talking about Nigerian youth, we also talk about youth who are in the army, right? There is this question that began to rise. When you go anywhere, you see a Nigerian comment, can't we do this? You see, if Madagascar of all places can do this, okay? Can do this, can't we do the same? What are we waiting for? Why does it seem like we are useless? You see, the tension began to grow, and I think it shook something within the army. This is exactly the reason why the presidency became involved, because there is no way the presidency will become involved in something that never really happened, because they want to let you believe that nothing really happened in Nigeria. There was no military tension. There was no thought of a military takeover. Nothing of such had happened. But if nothing of such had happened, why are you taking out General Musa? Why are you taking his cabinet out? Why are you detaining 16 soldiers? You see, it is because something happened. That's why they will tell you that there is no smoke without a fire. Yeah, Majesties. So I just felt like showing you these informations today, and you leave your thoughts and opinion there at the section. And this is the Nigerian government telling the whole world, telling the continent and the whole world that they are not going to accept any military takeover. Of course, they are always ready. If any agitation rises, they will push it down. There's no military that will take over power. And that was why in previous discussions, where we talk about what is that possible form of leadership that, would favor Africa? What is that form of leadership that Africa should adopt if at all Africa will kick out democracy?
So a few days ago, there was a rumor that there was an attempted coup in Nigeria. Say, what that means is that some military personnel came together, they want to take over for an attempted coup. And the Nigerian security agencies and Nigerian government came out to debunk it. It's a lie, it never happened and all that. They say bird cry for night and in the morning something heavy happened. And today, being the 24th of October 2025, the president has sacked all his service chiefs. Wait, let me explain. Without explaining further, because it's a very sensitive topic to talk about, because attempted coup or planning coup is a treasonable offense in Nigeria. But I don't know about talking about it. It might be maybe semi-treasonable offense, but I'm not talking about it. I'm just explaining what happened in Nigeria. So a few days ago, there was a rumor all over social media carried by some small blogs and all that, stating that there was an attempted coup in Nigeria and some military personnel, like 10 of them, was arrested, and locked up and all that. The presidency, the security agencies say is a lie. It never happened. On the 24th of October 2025, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, sacked all the service chiefs. Now, two things might have prompted that. It might be maybe because of that attempted coup, or maybe they are not performing to the expectation of the president. Maybe he expects more because of the high rise in the insecurity. Is it rise or raise? Anyway, but you understand what I'm trying to say. So maybe it's because of the too much insecurity and the service chiefs are not doing enough. So it's not say, okay, all of you go, let's try new people. So it might not be because of the attempted coup. It might be because he expects more from them and they are not giving him more. So he decided to sack all of them. So, 1 + 1 is 2. Maybe.
October 24th, 2025. Let's talk about this major breaking news. And I think this is first of its kind in the history of Nigerian democracy. As President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has sacked majority of his service chiefs, and the only person retained right now is the Chief of Defense Intelligence. So right now, the new Chief of Defense is General Olufemi Oluyede. The new Chief of Army Staff is Major General W. And the new Chief of Air Staff is Air Vice Marshal S.K. Aneke. While the new Chief of Naval Staff is Rear Admiral I. Abbas. The Chief of Defense Intelligence maintains his position. Right now, reactions are pouring in from Nigerians. As you all know that I have been very particular about the level of insecurity in Nigeria, is President Tinubu finally taking that bold step that will eventually put an end to insecurity in Nigeria? Sacking the majority of the service chiefs speaks volume. But like I always say, let's see how it goes. This is a developing story. And let's see if there will be major breaking news or updates as regards this. But this is a huge one and like first of its kind in the Nigerian democracy. But let's see how it goes in a couple of hours to come.